And they serve up that shit on it. They served up that shit.
I can't believe you. A couple of they got fun.
One guy had a 49 position.
We got here. Oh, you did? Feel free to use mine. No problem. Feel free to use mine. There you go. Jump in on. Yeah, absolutely. That would be. As are you? Definitely. At least special. Give yourself some. Give yourself some. Be that. Five years? Well, I mean, it has been a while because I was at Apple. You've got the binoculars here too.
You know?
Yeah. What's on? They're very similar. Mine are 4 cars.
That was the first hour.
You said most of the games I play is one game at night. You should work.
Because you had to
That is the IC yeah. It was one of the best. Incredible. Listen, if it wasn't for like lozenges or water or things like that, I'd have been in real trouble. I'd have been in real trouble. Headset or microphone? Why should it be in here? I've been meaning to buy splits for so long. I've not done it yet. I don't know, there were a couple of suggestions in there though. How are you?
It was the best one.
I've got so much of my own coffee, I should use the backside of the floor. How many do you need?
Cut that, yeah.
These lineups are near enough in numerical order if you want.
How did you get their photos?
Clifton Hill was easy. Manningham not so much as you can tell. Clifton Hill, they post all their signings on pre-season. And I social media, and Manningham's women's football coverage isn't as extensive.
I try to reach out and I just don't do
It was a lot easier to research Clifton now than and it was also a bit annoying because they should have played 6. And they played them because they posted the results on their pages. They played the game and have to improve it. Yeah, it says on the fixtures there, and they've played the matches without them recorded yet, so they're not placed on the table. Yeah, first time I've ever run into that. Go with some levels.
Wow.
Testing, testing. We're here at the home of the Matildas. Can you hear us loud and clear?
Got us? 1 2 1 2. Uno dos tres. Uno dos tres. 1 2 1 2. sorry, I should mention too.
That's just ridiculous.
There's no
This is a process again. You could be better for that.
six society. Crosses are sub. A huge night here at the home of the Matildas, and this game laden with intrigue. Two state league clubs, one of them about to earn a dance with one of Victorian football's elite most likely. It's the round of 16 in the Nike FC Cup. A win for one of these two clubs, Clifton Hill or Manningham United, will see them into the quarterfinals of the 2025 edition. One of these two clubs' runs will end here, with another chapter to be written. After 90 minutes, 120 or a penalty shootout perhaps, who knows what is in store. It's a couple of clubs who are flying in their respective state leagues. Which one will take their form under the bright lights here at the home of the Matildas? It's Clifton Hill and Manningham United here in Bundoora for the round of 16 in the Nike FC Cup on this Wednesday night. A cold Wednesday night here in Bundoora. We thank you ever so much for your company. My name is Oliver Walker-Peel. Alongside me tonight is Han Solo, and this is one that we have been looking forward to all week, Han.
It's great to see that state league teams are still in the round of 16 for the Nike FC Cup, and it's very fitting here to be the home of the Matildas, because I was just excited to see that we can now champion these two clubs that you mentioned, both ahead in their state league titles, one being the northwest side and the other being southeast. Pure opposite in terms of geography, but here right now in the home of Matildas, it's like it was meant to be. This is written exactly just for them, Ollie.
Absolutely. Two games here tonight. South Melbourne and Avondale are here on pitch 5. We've got the main pitch for these two proud state league clubs who will go blow for blow in just moments' time. We'll take you to the starting 11s, and we'll start with Clifton Hill, number 1, Anastasia Karanos. Number 3 is Grace Sim. 6, Katie McDonald. 7, the captain, Gabriella Francisco. Number 10 is Loz Famoso. Number 11, Natalie Govich. Number 12, Hannah Robinson. 15 is Samantha O'Callaghan. 16, Olivia Materia. Number 26 is Kelsey Zafaridis. And number 31 is Hayley Porter. For Clifton Hill, they go in goal with number 31, Mel Maisels. Number 3 is Alana Fenton. 5, Abby Collins. 6, Julia Galatas. Number 7, Hayley Dixon. 8, the captain, Romy Heasley. Number 12, Yana Malapanis. Number 13, Stephanie Dufas. Number 14, Ellie Pantazopoulos. Number 22 is Nagiko Chiba. And number 24 is Tamika Jose. Our referee is Tom Rushton. And a whistle to get the other game here blowing around the home of the Matildas. That might get a bit confusing. Tom Rushton still yet to blow his, as everything almost in order. We're underway in this one. Massive, massive opportunity for one of these two clubs to really make something of this cup run. It's Manningham from right to left, Clifton Hill in the navy blue from left to right, as the former Melbourne Victory goalkeeper Mel Maisels will control from the edge of a penalty area. Was here last week as a member of the coaching staff for the Matildas, in preparation for Tom Samani's first friendly of the most recent international window against Argentina that took place at Marvel Stadium. As Manningham United work it down the right-hand side. Alapanis off to try and run it down. Well marshalled though by Samantha O'Callaghan, the New Zealander. Out of play it goes for a throw. Good defending by Grace Sim. Getting in the way. Unintentionally there, Loz Famoso. All the way back to Mel Maisels, who is back playing football this year. Had a stint with Collingwood's VFLW side last year. And a cross-code switch to Australian rules football. Now back in the round game as her team have a throw. Ball clipped down the line. By Zafaridis. Back to the goalkeeper from Julia Galatas, formerly of South Melbourne. We're also here tonight, as mentioned right off the top. Ball trickling out of play, and it's going to be interesting to see how this one goes, particularly with the start that we've seen. Both sides trying to get a feel for one another.
It's just a feel of the environment and feel of the conditions right here, but it's primo conditions, not a little slight wind in sight, no rain, and the lights are just brighter than ever really here at the home of the Matildas, and the fans are loving it too. So it just feels that the nerves and just the big occasion here, and that scoreboard is probably the biggest you'll ever see in football for the women. So that will be probably, especially if you're having a corner kick, will impact the way you look at it. But Ollie, I think it's just that the nerves are just going to get out of their way.
Just a note on that scoreboard, the clock hasn't started as of yet. We did kick off here a couple of minutes past 7:30. Famoso, no, about halfway. Francisco, who is the top scorer in this competition with 10 goals in 3 games. There you go, Clifton Hill. Robinson looking central, and offside was Los Famoso. Former Keilor Park attacker, the wrong side of the Manningham back line. Pantazopoulos. Nice first touch of field from Hayley Dixon, but Clifton Hill have it back. Here's Formoso, who turned and rolled it right. Francisco back towards the middle. Tidy defending from Manningham, though, in the opening few minutes. Towards Alana Fenton. Risen all the way with this club. She was part of the State League 4 team as recently as 2019. And they sent up the leagues and up the Victorian football pyramid for Manningham United has been rapid since. Fast looking in behind. Able to deal with that though, Clifton Hill, as Katie McDonald looks left. Robinson running down the line here, Hannah Robinson, who enters the box, fires one low and just wide of the uprights. Once she broke clear of that last defender, only one thing was left to do, but a player who knows where the goals are. Scored 33 of them last season in State League 3 for Collingwood City. Couldn't find the back of the net there.
That was a terrific run from Clifton Hill. There was 3 players in front of the defenders. That's the amount of speed that you see from Clifton and their side. That is promising signs for the team right now that looks to challenge Maisels in goals. It was just a little bit wide than the right. The back post tap-in would have been just an inch a bit too far off. But, gee, Ollie, that was really good from Clifton.
Manningham United are looking for a cancer punch down there. Right hand side, it was Malapanis who helped win her team a throw. Talk about trying to test Mel Maisels. It will be one of those things where as good a goalkeeper as she is, she will have to be tested, and Clifton Hill will have to find ways to test her. As that's sent high and wide. Tamika Jose striking that. A few of the fans in this grandstand went up early. Safe to say that none of them were right behind the shot, so it was difficult initially for them to tell whether that one was on target. at first glance. Jose looking high, giving Fenton something to chase. Bobbled around at the edge of the box. As scrambled clear and away. Olivia Materia back there. One of a few out there tonight with MPLW Victoria experience. Played 4 games for Box Hill last season. Ball in hope rather than expectation for Kelsey Zafaridis, who is another one who's played at the top level of Victorians football. Clifton Hills, number 26, formerly of Boleyn. Also the top level of Australian football with her home state club Adelaide United. She's a player from South Australia. Certainly some players with high calibre out there. Talk about which team will own the moment. There's certainly players out there with high levels of experience who will try and take the game on and take the mantle for their team to own the moment, you would think. Was a very tidy turn, well played by Hayley Dixon. Seemed like she was under a bit of pressure, but did not show it. Abby Collins had it and lost it. Zafaridis sending forwards. Actually works over to the Manningham right. Malapanis is there. She's crowded out of it as it's watched out of play for throw. As Clifton Hill get things moving. All over towards the right-hand side is overhit. He's looking for Francisco, but Maisels out quickly to snuff out any potential danger. Well down the line from Collins. Here's Alana Fenton. Face-to-face with Natalie Govich, who was with her stride for stride, but couldn't prevent the concession of a corner. And it's Manningham United with a set piece just past the 10-minute mark of the game, and a set piece that they will take short. Dixon able to keep hold of the ball, but not for as long as she would have liked. Manningham United building a bit of pressure here.
They do look really compact here, Clifton Hill, but compared to their pitch they normally play on their home ground, it does look a bit more wider, so you can tell a lot of the time when they are trying to fend it off to the likes of Francisco, they just kind of miss the mark a little bit. So something to adjust to is the pitch being a little bit bigger than what they're normally adjusted to in state league. So this is something that perhaps they'll just move into.
Ball into the middle and sent away. I have seen a few personnel lose their footing out there, not least the referee Tom Rushton a few minutes ago. A bit slippery out there. Thrown in towards Sheba as it's sent into the middle. Not fully dealt with, breaks for Fenton, who rolls it square! And blowing the opportunity, Malapanis. The goal looked like it was there for the taking, but she's flashed it wide. And the biggest chance of the game so far falls by the wayside for Manningham United. Huge early opportunity. Manningham United couldn't take. Game of moments. And that was a massive early one for Manningham.
It sure wasn't. It was just quick fire. It was just like you would think ricocheted. You hope that the connection was going to be there. It was just millimetres away. So 2 golden opportunities for both Manningham and Clifton to break the deadlock tonight. It was just so close, but it was just off the tee of the probably awkwardly touched there as well.
You say it was quick fire, which it was, but Malapanis, Jana Malapanis with probably more time than she thought. Did really well, actually, to get herself into that position on the penalty spot for the cutback, but couldn't find the back of the net. That's poorly given away. Well played by Katie McDonald to step in. Over to the right-hand side. Holding her on, Francisco. We'll pick it back up here for Clifton Hill. Floating across! And that one sent just wide. Hayley Porter making a run into the box, but much like Jana Malapanis down the other end, just couldn't get that one on target.
That was beautifully done there by Captain Francisco to fend off a defender, which is not easy to do, by the way. She did it the first time, wasn't successful, but able to get that cut back in, and then it was Porter that was able to get in prime situation and location of where it could be very lethal in front of goal. So very promising signs here for the Clifton side.
Past the quarter of an hour mark here at the home of the Matildas. Both sides with one gilt edge chance each. Sent long and away. Jose back to Mel Maisels. Chiba jumping to win the header. McDonald in there for Clifton Hill as the ball goes out of play. So both games here tonight at 0-0. This would be like a football fan's paradise. There's a certain place you can stand behind the goal away to our left where you can turn your head and watch both games. So handball free kick going to Clifton Hill here. I dare say if the ball's ever out of play here, even my eyes might be diverting across if there's an opportunity. But otherwise, full focus is here on a huge game and a huge night for these two football clubs. McDonald looks down the line. And Robinson, but came unstuck. Fenton trying to breeze by a challenge. Couldn't quite do that, but could help win a team a throw. Hasn't been the most free-flowing game this, but there has been some really good football played. Chiba working it across. The cross blocked and behind. Another Manningham United corner to come. Andy Collins is over to take. Again, the corner goes short. And then it'll be sent in, spilt, and eventually scrambled clear. Anastasia Karanos lucky to have a little bit of support adjacent to her, or else that could have been a bit of a moment there. Manningham United to try and take advantage of it. Sent back into the middle. Ball allowed to bounce and just out of reach of Abby Collins. Attempted clearance blocked. This is somewhat promising from a Manningham United point of view. Particularly in the last 5 minutes or so, they have played some really nice football. Oh, how good was that? Tamika Jose with a nice showing of composure and poise. Antizopoulos forwards. Here's the former Casey Comet, Hayley Dixon. Looks in field, couldn't find a teammate. So forward again. Ball cut out. Giving it away, that was Grace Sim. Chance might open up, and snatching at it a little bit was Chiba behind for a Clifton Hill goal kick.
So far, Manningham, they look really compact. You really forget that they are a state team. They're playing the quality of VPL, so even if they do advance either themselves or Clifton Hill, they can absolutely contest to the likes of South or Avondale if they do verse them. But you can see those chances there. Chiba, she is absolutely banging on the door at the moment, but it's just those chances. You can cross it in, utilize your teammate. She feels like she's a little bit too selfish on some occasions and try to get it all to herself and getting those big moments, but perhaps use for different avenues in the next opportunity she gets.
It's worth a note too that if you've seen any of the most recent Doherty Cup action, teams knew that if they won, they knew who they would be facing. They did the next round draw in advance. Not so here. It's a clean slate for all involved. It's rolled in field. Here's a chance. And unable to take it there, Formoso. She was well pressured from behind by a couple of Manningham United defenders. You could cut the tension in this grandstand with a knife right about now. We're just over 20 minutes in. Just imagine if we're still positioned like this in about an hour, 75 minutes from now. Porter sees that one blocked. Out of play for a Clifton Hill throw. After withstanding all that pressure down the other end. Defending and keeping the door slammed shut. Tonight's nominal hosts who might have the opportunity to go the other way. Safaridis did well to get to the byline, to work it into the box, and over the top it went from Hannah Robinson, who has got herself into some really good positions early on. A couple of chances that she might usually take. Promising signs if you're a Clifton Hill fan. First season at Clifton Hill, as mentioned earlier, 33 goals in the league in State League 3 last season for Collingwood City. Scored 5 goals in this cup run, 4 of them coming in a 15-0 win over the Bentley United Cobras early in the tournament. Formoso looking for Robinson. Well played by Pilatus to help it back to a goalkeeper. That's back under hit. And there's the Clifton Hill pressure. Just moved by the midway point of this first half. We are, as we started, 0-0 in terms of the scoreline. Zafaridis at the edge of the box. Had her progress stunted well by Pantazopoulos, who looked expansively over towards Malapanis, who has helped earn her team a throw. So forwards. Head up towards halfway. Francisco. A good touch into space. Good defending by Dixon. As Manningham should be able to move it clear. It's a ball forward towards Chiba. It's a tidy piece of defending. And with Materia to get that one into touch. Chiba shown inside. Trying to roll it in behind. Fenton at the edge of the box. Offside flag was up. As far as Zafaridis, who was always looking left. Actually rolled it across towards Porter. Good defending. Running back. Malapanis has been rather busy early on both sides of the ball. Going in towards the middle. Porter trying to get on the end of it. Well, to keep it, it's sent into the middle. Maisels able to take a chest mark, as she might have done a number of times in the black and white of Collingwood last year. Free kick here for Clifton Hill as some of their substitutes start to get worn.
I have a theory, Ollie. Goalkeepers that play AFL or footy are better goalkeepers. It's just I think the tactics and like the sense of play where you have to dive up, and I've known so many goalkeepers that play AFL in the off season and they become better goalkeepers. So I think it might just be a trait that you have, Ollie.
Maybe. Offside flag goes up, which is eventually spotted. Mel Maisels, a bit of a different case though, has played football the majority of her life and just had the 1 year with Collingwood, former W League champion with Canberra United back when the league was called that many years ago. Fancied a chance to play a season with the club she grew up barracking for in a different code, but now back to some more familiar surroundings. Long-time NPL goalkeeper 2 with Heidelberg. Chiba. Clifton Hill have it back. Forward over towards the right-hand side. Foot race on. And Cisco is there for Clifton Hill. It was well played in the end by Pantazopoulos to keep her off the ball. Sent forward by Collins towards Chiba. That's there. Grace Sim. So 0-0 on the main pitch as it is on pitch 5 between South Melbourne and Avondale. Get to see any goals here tonight, but don't think it'll be too long before that changes. Hughes and ours in the grandstand here after that. Football might be a no-contact sport, but doesn't mean you're always out of it. Boys, got to keep your wits about you. Chiba going over. Fenton losing out. Stephanie Dufas serving as a human brick wall there. As Mayuko Chiba is down here for Manningham. Chance for all involved to catch the breath a little bit. Despite the goalless scoreline we have, there has been action at both ends, and there's plenty of attacking talent out there that you never know clubs from high divisions may be looking at. There's not just the cup runs at stake, but with the cameras on and the lights bright, there's a chance for some individual auditions too, which is even truer when you consider that spot in the quarterfinals is on the line. Every game getting more important towards the cup final, which is quite an occasion in and of itself. What a story it would be if one of these two clubs was to get there. Chiba making her way off on her own volition, which is good to see.
Ollie, if one team's going to make it through to the next round, that's a guarantee. That will be the only state team to be competing in the quarterfinals. Clifton Hill did it last year against Mandurah, so that's a treat to them. They want to be back there again to compete again. The question is, can Manningham get there instead and replace them in their tracks and shut down that Nike FC Cup dream? But to be the only state team left, still standing, that's a feat in itself.
So whichever of these two teams advances, of course, with that would be the lowest ranked team in the quarterfinals, but we've seen cup sets all over the world in various competitions, so whichever team does advance from this round would have every reason to fancy themselves no matter who they come up against. Football isn't played on paper, as we know. McDonald, well played, rolls it in behind. Opportunity for Francisco, runs it down, a first-time ball across the face. No one there in navy blue to make a play on it. Turning it behind, Galatas had more time than she thought. Maybe didn't have to concede the corner there, but concede the corner she did. Here's a chance for Clifton Hill.
Wasn't too much pressure there. I think she overcomplicated that play and knew that she had to slow down because her player wasn't really challenging her in what way, but Francisco probably should have timed that cut back in a little bit better, waited for a little bit of artillery to come a bit forward because there was just really no one chasing down that left side. But it's a good result for them to draw in a corner kick.
No one is in a position to make the run to provide the would-be tap-in. Opportunity here, though, for Clifton Hill and Natagovic to try and send this one in. Two arms aloft. Towards the front post, flicked on onto the woodwork by Julia Galatas of Clifton Hill. The player who conceded the corner almost turning into her own net. Inches away from an inadvertent own goal opener in this round of 16 tie. Does not get much closer than that. And a free kick here for Manningham United, who were so close to falling behind just moments ago. A penny for Julia Galatas' thoughts as she made contact with that football. That would not have been a good feeling, I tell you that much. Square ball, an interesting one. Clattered was Francisco, and she gave away the free kick on Tamika Jose, who she offers a hand to. And there are things happening, literally and figuratively, wherever you look here at the home of the Matildas. With the fancy feet Dixon, away from Zafaridis. Feint across, then sent it low into the middle. And a couple of Manningham United players tried to leave it for one another. As Robinson scampers away down the Clifton Hill left. Options with her now. Will go herself. Will eventually roll it square. Formosa with a heavy first touch. And with it the foray forward became on stock. That one sent long. And well out to deal with that, Karanos. So defended by Dixon. Chiba. Sent forward by Collins. And again, out of play. With about 10 to play in this 45. Hearts in mouths, even at this relatively early stage of the match. Particularly considering that we might need more than 90. Although we are a long way from that. Callahan taking it quickly. Making the run at the back post is Francisco. Isn't used for the moment. It's rolled across. Formoso and Zafaridis is there. She was watched all the way and fairly challenged, although it was given away then by Dufas. Zafaridis back to pick up the pieces. Materia down the right-hand side, smartly wins her team a throw. Not a bad option either way. I wasn't sure if she was trying to play the ball down the inside right channel or win the throw, but regardless, she did well. Strong in the challenge there, Hayley Dixon. Chiba standing on the ball and rolling it back. Game opening up here for Clifton Hill. Forward from Heasley. And in the way there, O'Callaghan. Robinson. Now with McDonald's. This idea was feasible, the execution not quite there. That one long and through to Anastasia Kourounos, who has some experience higher up, despite her relatively youthful age in goal-kicking terms. Was a first-choice keeper at Melbourne Uni in the VPL at the age of just 18 last year, before making the step down in the footballing pyramid to join Clifton Hill. Fenton looking forward, will break for Collins. Heasley for Manningham, almost giving it away. Safaridis with the sidestep on the would-be tackler. Mazel's first time towards halfway. Moving on for Collins. Porter for Francisco. Clifton Hill happy to keep it here. Ball down the line. Will surrender possession as it goes out for a throw. It's been a game where not every pass in the middle third has found its intended target, it's fair to say. But those that have got through have led to some opportunities, and that is what Theo Aravanis, the Clifton Hill coach, and Paul McCarthy, his Manningham contemporary, will be trying to focus on. Opportunity for Robinson, who works it down the left-hand side. It was a great first touch. Options arriving in the middle. Inside the box was Formoso. First touch took her away from goal, and that was to her detriment. Fights with the press. Has Clifton Hill come again, but not for long. Presented to Chiba, who can take it away from Manningham United. Pantazopoulos. Put some spin on the ball. Donald trying to get it to Formoso. Who is down in the back play here. Not all the way down, but in a sort of on your marks position, as if she was about to start a sprint in the 100 metres. Now all the way back up, which is a good sign for all affiliated with Clifton Hill. Manningham have it back. Can they find something here? The square ball cut out by Zafaridis. Interested there was Dixon, who blocked the clearance with her arm, which in this game you cannot do.
Not a bad result so far, Ollie, in the first half. Both teams do look compact. It's just they're sitting a little bit deep here in their defence, especially Manningham. The midfielders aren't really driving that ball forward in any way. They're just hoping for the best, go for those long drives. But something to work on. They're sitting very deep. I don't know if that's their game plan in the first half, but then there's just a moment that the ball just slips away, where Clifton, they've got that forward pressure and they're able just to get those numbers forward. It's just, at this stage, it's just a matter of trying to beat the keeper.
Interesting header, and chance almost there for Francisco. It's eventually away by Dixon. Manningham United, almost the architects of their own downfall there. Thrown in towards Robinson. Mazels will prevent it from going behind. Dixon will be unable to keep that one in. Three minutes and change to go in this first half. Plus any time we'll have added on. It's been a relatively cagey affair. At the moment, you would not be surprised if someone said to you, this is going beyond the 90. It just feels as though that might be on the cards. Zafaridis. Well, to keep hold of the ball. Francisco rolling it forward. Zafaridis had kept running. Cut off there by Eli Pantazopoulos. And a throw here for Clifton Hill, who are building something towards the break. Slammed up towards Fenton, who controlled that with their arm. The Clifton Hill contingent were right onto that. Both in the stands and in the technical area. They were not letting Manningham United's number 3 get away with that. Bouncing ball inside the box, the first time efforts over the top from Formoso. Something out of nothing almost for Clifton Hill.
She had 2 defenders on her, just barracked away past them too, and able just to get that foot on it. And it was a really good ball towards that direction too. It was just unfortunate she kind of over-curled it too much there. So good sign for Clifton Hill at the end of the first break. They might be coming out of the gates in the second half with a clear mind idea is to get the ball towards the likes of Francisco or Safranidis. They've been on fire tonight, on form. It's just more get that ball to where they need to be.
The tackle. Bring it away here, Malapanis, who, despite the miss from on the penalty spot, not from the penalty spot, but right on it from open play earlier in the half, has played well. Probably the best chance Manningham United have had in this first half. The half-time whistle goes in the other game here between South Melbourne and Avondale. That game's at 0-0. You can check that one out on the Football Victoria YouTube channel as you're watching this one here. And here's the chance for Clifton Hill. Francisco sending it in early. Again, a vacant back post. So we're into added time. Into this first half. Ball forwards. Fenton trying to help it on. Donalds. Down the line from Materia, who is now over at left back, started the game right. Oh, excuse me, it's O'Callaghan out there, and it is Materia still on the right, as we are still at 0-0 here at the home of the Matildas. Couple of opportunities, as mentioned earlier on. Manningham United 0. Welcome back to the home of the Matildas in Bundura. This Nike FC Cup round of 16 tie between the two State League sides remaining in this competition, Clifton Hill and Manningham United. It's a half that can be described by a word that probably doesn't exist. It's been rather nil-nilly as the discussion has been put around inside the grandstands. And that's not to say it was a bad half of football, because it wasn't. But it was a half where neither goalkeeper was really tested, despite the fact both sides had a couple of chances from which they couldn't capitalise. It's 0-0 here as we get ready to start the second half in this one. Across the way, literally, on pitch 5, it's 0-0 between South Melbourne and Avondale, who are a few minutes ahead of us, having just started the second half, as we are about to do here. My name is Oliver Walker-Peel. Alongside me is Han Solo. And Han, a 0-0 half, but one of those that you might expect to see a goal, and if we do, you're not too sure which team's going to score it, because both sides have quality. What Manningham United have got is a half-time change, which will see Cat King on in midfield as we get this one going.
It's going to be very tested, especially the final third. They were able to get, especially Clifton Hill in the final, I would say about 10 minutes in the first half, get those kind of ducks in order. It's just more capitalising on those opportunities. Francisco's been wonderful, same as Robinson and Olivia Matera, the one, that midfielder that they always rely on. So it's just a matter of really connecting in the second half and ensuring that you capitalise on those opportunities, because it doesn't come very often.
That's it for Zafaridis with a shot, as claimed by goalkeeper Mel Maisels. Clifton Hill. We don't have a fourth officials board here, so I'm trying to deduce who Cat King has come on for. Correct me if I'm wrong, I don't see the number 8 of Romy Heasley out there. But we will confirm that for you in a moment. Now Lapanis, Chiba taking over and losing the ball. Yeah, Roby Heasley is the player off for Manningham United. For a bit of a process of elimination. Thanks for bearing with us. And Cat King is on. Sent down the line towards Hannah Robinson, out of play for a Manningham throw. Robinson. Yeah, on the ball there was Maeve Deeney, who is a half-time change for Clifton Hill. Irishwoman trying to get on the ball there. Lost for Moso, by the way, is the player who I believe has been taken off. Or who I believe, I should say. I won't throw hard on the bus in case I'm wrong. But having double-checked, I don't think the number 10's out there. So just to confirm both of those changes for you, Maeve Deeney is on for Los Famoso for Clifton Hill. For Manningham, Romy Heasley is off and Kat King has taken her place. Ball flicked out of play off Callahan. It's gone behind for a corner. The ball did hit the corner flag, but it's eventually behind for a corner. Manningham United have sent all their corners short to do so again here. Chiba to the byline. It's sent in and dealt with at the front post. Behind for another set piece. And the question is, will they look longer this time? Chiba to take, and there's no option short for this one. A crowded 6-yard box for Chiba to try and pinpoint. It's right-footed and high, and not fully dealt with. It's headed down and cleared off the line. Alana Fenton was there, couldn't quite get it into the corner. Swept off the line at the last to keep this game at 0-0.
Ollie, that was quite a cross from Shiba. She knew exactly how to pinpoint it, and that header just a little bit soft there, but got to give credit to Maeve Deeney. What a substitute change there. She's done such an impact already.
And with such a good delivery from Nagiko Chiba, you just wonder where that's been across the first 45 and change. Because they haven't used it. Most, if not all, of their corners up to that point had gone short. It was a wicked delivery into the 6-yard box. Here's the architect of that, Chiba. Trying to work her way away from Porter. Chiba going over, and a late whistle. Going in Safaridis. And not only is there nerves on the pitch, there is feeling in the grandstand off it. There is a right atmosphere about this game. From both the stars on show under lights and those watching on from afar. Could this be any better set up?
I love it. This is it doesn't get any better than this. The fans are feeling it. They're really absorbing this, and you can tell the players at the same time are really getting the sense that this is a really big occasion, especially in the second half where the crowd is building from the ground up. They're really coming here to sense that this could be witnessing history. State League team coming into the quarterfinals. Manningham, we haven't seen them in this position for quite some time, and they're really feeling this emotion.
Good play down the left. Robinson rolls it in board. Maeve Deeney looking left. Out of play it goes. I tell you what, if you closed your eyes and took this game in without context, you might think this is an A-League women's match with the atmosphere we're getting presented with here. This is quality. Deeney, infield, looking for the switch. It's cut out and up towards Collins, around halfway. Ball down the line. We'll get through to Mel Nasels, who will control inside the D. And look long. Up towards Fenton, who saw that effort cleared on the line. earlier in this second half, which we've travelled under 9 minutes. Interesting ball and a heavy touch getting away from Robinson. Ball towards Chiba, who will scamper to try and win the foot race. She kept the ball in play. Porter played well to make sure there wasn't a way past her. Center plate goes for a throw. The scoreboard still isn't working in terms of the clock, that is. The scoreboard is on. The scoreboard clock not operating. We have travelled 9.5 minutes just under in this second half. It's sent into the middle, hooked on goal. Kat King firing that one straight at Kuranos. Chance here for Alana Fenton. She's worried off it. Deeney couldn't control but won it back. Former Ireland Youth International rolling that one across. Ball sent out wide towards Francisco. And a throw to come. Flicked on. Deeney. Maeve Deeney going over, winning the free kick for Clifton Hill. Not the best of angles, but dangerous regardless. Maeve Deeney having won the free kick is setting up to take it here. The wall posted up well inside the penalty area. Deeney shaping to strike. Maeve Deeney sending it in! And offside was Francisco. That'd be frustrating. Particularly from a set piece with a somewhat relatively high line in all considerations of where the free kick was. You couldn't put a defensive line much higher than that, given where the ball was taken from. Francisco was the wrong side of it, which will frustrate Theo Aravanis.
It was just a little bit unlucky there. I don't think she intended to move in that direction, and it was just accidental. I don't think it was just part of the game plan, but it's one of those really tricky things. Do you go for it and go for the cross, or do you hit a target? And that's just something that State 1 League just haven't really perfected yet, but they will continue to try that at it again. But yeah, that was a promising sign for Clifton to get one up, but it was just a little bit of misshape there from Deeney, I believe.
Robinson. Try and send it central. Deeney battling it and keeping it with Safaridis. One will go out of play. Thrown in for Deeney, who took it down, prodded it wide. Robinson, let's try and pull it back towards the edge of the box. McDonald will hit it. And she saw her name up in lights. The striker of the ball not owing up to any potential headline.
Why not have that confidence, Ollie? If you're going to lift it up to these big moments like that, you have to go move out of the way. I want to give it a go. So why not roll the dice and try something like that, Ollie?
Very much admire the confidence. It's not Katie McDonald's main game to find the back of the net. She's usually more involved in playing in midfield and slightly more defensive midfield role in terms of keeping goals out at the other end, but we've seen that from midfielders in the history of the game, that they can have strikes from range and find the back of the net, just not there. Jose. Chiba. Here's King. And towards the middle. Did that take a deflection? It did not. Behind for a goal kick. Approaching the hour mark. Here at the home of the Matildas. They'd be past it on the other pitch here. Still the same scoreline in both games here tonight. A place in the Nike FC Cup quarter-finals on the line. And the right to be the last State League team in the draw for the next round as Chiba gets into the box and sees her shot blocked, not yet cleared. And eventually out to the safety of Robinson. Porter seeing that one towards the corner flag. Throw here for Manningham United. So these two teams are the last two State League 1 teams left. Manningham of the southeast and Clifton Hill of the northwest. All back into the middle. Headed high and away. Nicely done by Robinson, who will roll through the centre circles and roll it right. Chance here for Francisco. Arriving at the back post is Deeney. Sent towards the middle. Francisco with a heavy touch meant that she wouldn't have another look at a cross. It's just a few moments here, Harm, that are just not quite up to where both of these two teams would want them to be.
Yeah, absolutely, and Francisco's just being a little bit quiet here in the second half. The ball hasn't really moved to the direction normally that she's intended to. Manningham's got more of the possession here in the second half, more than they did in the first. So they look a lot more promising, especially, signs from Shiba. They're utilising her a lot better and making those better moves and runs down the left or the right side. But Clifton Hill, just this past couple of moments in the game, just hasn't really gone into their favour. So they're chasing their feet a little bit. They've just got to structurally find a way through and get those movements through to the likes of Francisco, Safaridis. Robinson's been great, but it's just more trying to collect together and make a better, structurally move through the centre of the pitch, where they're just struggling a little bit at this stage.
It's here for Manningham United. It's trying to turn that one away. Safaridis. Deeney trying to hold her on Robinson. She couldn't quite. Was looking across the line and went a fraction too early.
Come on, Clifton Hill!
Been a little bit quiet in the last couple of minutes, perhaps owing to the nerves. And that's something that you absolutely cannot knock and completely understand. You'd think if you've been around football long enough, football can provide the nerves, as taking that one on the bounce was Malapanis. The lack of noise in the last couple of minutes is not at all detracting from the occasion, because we've got some fans here with a stake in the game. Half of them hoping for one outcome, half hoping for another. Which team will come out on top here? Porter. Ball towards Deeney. First time ball around the corner, under hits. King trying to clear, eventually got to the ball. Sheba couldn't get that one under a spell. Great first touch. Really well played by Robinson. Catching up though was Galatas. And it was miscontrolled according to Tom Rushton. By Samantha O'Callaghan. Fenton playing forwards. She was frustrated with herself. As soon as she played the ball, Deeney loses it. Do fast, over towards the left-hand side. Dixon trying to track it down and successfully doing so. Shown towards the byline. Ball stayed in play. Dixon, rolling square. Spilled by Karanos. Kept it in front of her, and that's all that mattered in the end. Every kick of the football with something on it here. King. Dixon. And Manningham United trying to keep it. They've lost it. Deeney. Trying to maraud down that right-hand side. That's cut off. Antizopoulos involved. Sent it middle towards Robinson. Cut out by Jose. As far as O'Callaghan, who will battle and battle, lose it and win it back and then lose it again. The clearance well blocked by Robinson. And the 22 players out there at the moment for both teams are leaving nothing to chance. Sheba, well controlled, looking to roll it in behind, chance there, Malapanis! Puts it wide again. What a run! In behind from Yanni Malapanis. Again, just wide of the uprights. Goodness me. A couple of opportunities. Manningham United's number 12, and she's come close with them both.
It's just a matter of time. That was a terrific run through the centre. She gave it her all. I think she's just an awkward footing in the final one, the final touch. She knew she had to get the right footing on it to pass the keeper. The keeper's been on point tonight ahead of her. It had to be left or right. She chose the right option, but it just was just millimetres away. Ollie Malapinas been close.
Mazel's out to deal with that. Got there just ahead of Zafaridis. End-to-end stuff. Malapanis couldn't quite get there. Have a listen to this. Doesn't matter what cup competition you're watching, you want an atmosphere like this, at a game like this. Deeney trying to capitalise on the Chiba slip. It was Porter, in fact. Porter keeping it. That ball towards Deeney. As Chiba controls. Skips past one, and then through a second. Chiba inside the box. Tried to do too much. Malapanis. Deeney for Robinson. A 3-on-1 here if they can work it well here, Clifton Hill, and they can't. Coursing through the middle was Zafaridis. Goal for Avondale in the game against South Melbourne over on pitch 5. Clifton Hill have got a player down here.
Ollie, can you imagine if we're just looking at Avondale, that they just scored a goal. Imagine if they come through the quarterfinals against South Melbourne. In this game, it's going to be a tight contest. We may have to go in overtime. Either of these teams are not leaving without a fight, and they're going in hard. The physicality is there. The tension is there. You can feel it on the pitch. You can feel it on the sidelines. You can feel it here in the stands. You can, as you mentioned, cut this tension with a knife. It's high stakes, and anything can go either way. We just still can't picture who's going to be winners tonight. It's going to be a hard one to call, Ollie.
Please excuse me, it's South Melbourne with the goal.
Oh, was it? Oh,
So it was. There was a question of whether, from the grandstand, if Avondale had scored, and it is in fact South Melbourne who are all in white. It's confusing when you see a team in blue and a team in white. I was sure that it was South Melbourne who were in blue, having looked across. I am wrong. And it is South Melbourne who, in that game, are now 2-0 up against Avondale. The scoreboard there still reading 0-0. So maybe the scoreboards are just for show, with the clocks not working and... So it's 2-0 for South Melbourne over on pitch 5. So it looks as though South Melbourne are to win that one. I was going off what the crowd was saying, having kept the focus on this game, but it is South Melbourne who are 2-0 up. We all caught up? I think so. And we're back underway here too. It's all happening. Robinson sent away. Francisco on the right. Robinson trying to roll it wide towards Francisco, who was sent wide. Back towards the middle it goes. So South Melbourne 2 goals up on Avondale. Free kick here.
They're a bit ahead of us here, but they're 87th minute in, so there's 2 minutes left. It's probably going to be all South Melbourne. They're going to join Bundoora, who bet Essendon Royals. Alamein, they'll join Alamein Heidelberg, who bet George Cross last night. Still yet to find out. There's going to be Bayside and Geelong tomorrow night. Burundurran and Bulleen. That's going to be a big one, Ollie. And then Spring Hills Effie Academy. So, big one.
Ball forward, allowed to bounce. Deeney chesting down and shooting straight to the goalkeeper. I will say on that South Melbourne Avondale game that Stream says it's 88 minutes. Apparently the clock here says we're at 74 on the one we've got set up here. I'm not sure if they'd be 13 or 14 minutes ahead of us. I'm not sure what or who to trust. What we can tell you here that it is 0-0 with about 16 and a half minutes to play in the 90 minutes with this game still deadlocked. Chance here for Manningham United. They've got a corner. Sent behind by Grace Sim of Clifton Hill. Just Agako Chiba over to take the corner. Another crowded 6-yard box. Is there a notable moment here? Chiba to float it in. Flicked on and off the line. Or was it? It's a goal. It's a goal. And Manningham United leads. They'll all flock back and celebrate. Central to all those celebrations was Tamika Jose. And Manningham United are in front. There is just under 15 minutes to play in the 90. And Manningham United have gained something which they now could lose. But regardless, that could be the goal that might get them to the last 8.
That is pinpoint chaotic play. Shiba knew there's so many jumpers inside that box. She has to reach a target. Even if it ricochets off her own teammate or Clifton Hill, we're still unsure who it connected finally. But of course, whoever's in that mix knows exactly who touched it. But gee, what a finish. Shiba curled that ball in with perfection and knew that chaotic play will finish it off for her team. So now it's Clifton's turn. Can they respond? Because there's not much time left, but there is enough opportunities for them to get themselves in prime situation. But gee, the crowd is loving it now. They're up and about. They come all the way here from the southeast to witness what could be history-making for Manningham United to get them in the quarterfinals.
When you're not sure who scored, you sometimes go to the celebrations to tell you who got the touch. Tamika Jose was the player that everybody went to. She does not get the final touch here, I can tell you that much. Might well have flicked in off the goalkeeper's gloves, perhaps. It was a crowded 6-yard box. It was hard to see live and harder to see on replay. Manningham United will not care the identity of the scorer, as we'll see a yellow card here. First one of the night. Flash in the direction of Chiba. So Tamika Jose was doing a great job to try and maybe claim the goal or maybe win the title of best celebrant, but either or. Emily Goulas is on here for Clifton Hill. Grace Sim it was who's been taken off. Deeney with the resulting free kick. Looks goalward. It's over the top. Malapanis pulling up. That one goes out of play. we've got Han Solo multitasking here. Both in co-commentary and operating a pseudo VAR/instant replay system to try and see who got the final touch. As far as we can see, it's in off the goalkeeper, Anastasia Karanos. With the best look that we have at it, it looks as though there's a white goalkeeping glove that's got some contact on the ball. It was then almost helped off the line. As there is a triple change here for Manningham United. Deanna Ramsey is on, as is Charlie Calthorpe and Melin Ismail-Oglu. Off Stephanie Dufas, Alana Fenton. Two of the three that have come off. Ramsey, recently off the bench, towards the front post and headed behind by Abby Collins. Slice clearance as far as Ramsey. Got it from Sim. Ramsey across. A chance maybe at the back post. Collins is there. It's blocked. She'll recycle it for Manningham United. And it goes behind for a corner. Yana Malapanis, the third player off for Manningham United, by the way. As far as I could see. Eight and a half left in the 90. Another corner and another crowded 6-yard box for Chiba. Right-footed towards the middle. One well headed away. Chiba to swing back in. And behind, goal kick. 8 minutes to play in the 90, slightly less than. Clifton Hill 0, Manningham United 1. A goal from a corner to a crowded 6-yard box to the point where it is near on impossible to say who got the final touch. Deeney with good control. Robinson, after this on the left. Towards the middle, Deeney slipped at the most inopportune moment. Materia. It's rolled in behind. Deeney, was she onside? She wasn't. The Clifton Hill bench are incensed. Their fans likewise. They feel as though Maeve Deeney was not offside. It's Tom Rushton seeking some consultation from the assistant referee. And a card for Theo Aravanis and a member of his coaching staff. on the Clifton Hill bench. Just when you thought the drama had stopped, eh?
It's getting started here, Ollie. I think it's just the tensions building. Obviously, it's high stakes. Not long to go. 6 minutes of time left. It's do or die at this stage. That's why the emotions are running high, especially for Coach Theo Carnes. It's everything that's leading up to this. And as a coach, you feel it more than the players. So he's getting frustrated. He's got a yellow. He's just got to stay calm a little bit and just guide his team on to try to get this goal that's been highly anticipated. Still unable to find it, though. It's going to be tricky if they've got to dig deep in these final 5 minutes of the game.
Ball through. After this is Zafaridis. Maisel's out there quicker. How much might her experience come into this in the last few minutes? Bouncing ball. Zafaridis over the top. Francisco is onside. Options there in the middle. Looks to send it there against the side netting. Manningham United are 4.5 minutes plus stoppage time away from a spot in the final 8 of the Nike FC Cup. Mel Maisels to take the resulting goal kick. Takes it low and presents a chance for Francisco, whose first touch was heavy. Over to Pantazopoulos, who couldn't keep hold of the ball. She was scythed down, and the ball then booted away by Francisco, who will earn a card for one of the 2 infringements. The challenge, borderline. The kicking away of the ball, settling any potential doubt.
Scoreboard's getting to their heads now, Ollie. I think it's overtaking their emotions. They're just going to focus on the game. They can definitely get there. Francisco hasn't been really on point in the second half. That's why she's a little bit frustrated. Just got to keep it solid, keep the mind frame there, and it will come to you. I think it's just emotions run high. She can feel absolutely the tension and the stake of the game right now, and the time especially is really running away from Clifton Hill right now.
If you're Clifton Hill, you just have to try and fashion one more chance. There is more than enough time. Time that Manningham United will try and eat some of up with the change here. Yana Panagopoulos will come on here. This Julia Galatas for the last few minutes of this. 2.25 to play in the 90. A second for Manningham United would surely seal it. One for Clifton Hill and we likely go on. Zafaridis looking forwards. Jose up towards halfway. Cut out. O'Callaghan, the New Zealander, trying to roll it forward. Dean, he couldn't find a way in behind. Behind for a corner it goes. Slice behind by Panagopoulos, recently off the bench. Nerves absolutely palpable for everybody involved. Less than 90 seconds until the 90 minutes elapses. The corner to come. Into the middle. Maisel's getting a hand to the Natalie Govic corner. still not fully dealt with. Katie McDonald trying to keep hold of the ball. And it's toe poked away by Ellie Pantasopoulos, who, by the way, has been brilliant tonight for Manningham United. We're into the final minutes of the 90. And soon, we will be at the discretion of Tom Rushton, the referee, and his team. Chiba winning the header. Sent forward then by Grace Sim. Trying to keep hold Francisco. Out of play for a throw. Chance down the right-hand side here for Clifton Hill. Ball in towards the middle. Looking for Zafaridis. It's turned behind. The 90 is up. We are at the referee's discretion now. There will be a few minutes, I'm sure. Clifton Hill running out of time to save their cup run. Into added time at the end of this second half. Is there one late twist? Waiting at the back post, deep is McDonald. The ball won't get there. Headed away by Hayley Dixon. And they might well be away here. Melanie Ismailoglu. Getting back is Grace Sim, who will look down the line. The ball had gone out of play for a throw. It's a Clifton Hill ball. As we move towards the end of the first minutes of second half stoppage time. The scoreboard clock not working here at the home of the Matildas. Just to add to the drama. It's a little bit like a game of Australian rules in the sense that no one in attendance knows how long's left.
It's tension. It's just play by play at the moment. It's each kick is so vital for Clifton Hill to make sure that ball gets in. If they get another corner kick, it will be a great opportunity from them. But Manningham, they just have to hold the fort right now, hold at all costs, like your life dependent on it.
Mel Mazels with a goal kick. Manningham on the verge of a momentous moment. Chiba chesting down. Ahead of her was Ramsey, who was offside. And those of a Manningham affiliation thought she was on and were up almost celebrating out of their seats. Sent long from Gulas. Chiba. Outpointed by Katie McDonald. Ball down the line. Jose will send that one up towards the grandstand. And Clifton Hill will get it back in quickly. O'Callaghan with the throw. Jose managing to get something on it. Zafaridis keeping it in play at the byline and winning a corner. And do they send the goalkeeper up? Does Anastasia Karanos go? She absolutely goes. What about this for theatre? She stops, up and over halfway, maybe waiting for an instruction. The corner, sent into the back post, and somehow Francisco couldn't score. Mazels flapped at it, and it's somehow kept away and behind for another corner. Francisco is stealing in from the Natalie Govic corner, and still Karanos waits back. 3.5 minutes down in added time at the end of the second half. Another corner in. She's headed high and away to the edge of the box, unable to keep hold of Gulas. There's the whistle. It's Manningham United's moment. are into the final 8, into the quarter-finals of the Nike FC Cup, and they will represent the state leagues for the rest of this night and for the next round at least. No one is to know how far their journey will go in this competition, but they live to see another round, and Manningham United are into the final 8 of Victoria's Premier Knockout competition for women in this state. It was a goal in the second half, the undoing of Clifton Hill, floated in from the corner to a crowded 6-yard box, and it was so hard to see who got the final touch. Anastasia Carrados in goal got something on it, we think. And from there, the ball took a couple of flicks before finding a moment to savour for Manningham. It was almost cleared off the line. It wouldn't do. And for Manningham United, they are through. Full time from the home of the Matildas. It's finished in the round of 16 here at the home of the Matildas. Clifton Hill 0, Manningham United 1, Han Solo.
Oh, what a game. You kind of feel for the State League team that it's just so much emotion to go through to the quarterfinals. Mind you, passing a lot of VPL, a lot of NPL teams. They join now Bundoora, Alamein, Heidelberg, to name a few. Now South Melbourne. Gee, who would have thought now a State League team in the quarterfinals? Manningham United, they felt like the underdogs throughout the team. Clifton Hill really brought out a lot of the advances to them, just couldn't capitalise. But Ollie, what a pleasure it was to have your company here. It's been ecstatic to be here, especially at the home of the Matildas.
What a stage we had, and what a game we had to play it on. Manningham United defying some of the odds and prolonging their run in this competition to the Elite 8 of the Nike FC Cup. They will take the photo to celebrate, to cement the moments in history. They'll wait for Mel Nasals to come across. And you just can't take this away from those players. You can put this one on the mantelpiece. And those cheers tell all. We will bid you farewell here from Bundoora. Manningham United have got the job done by a 1-0 over Clifton Hill. The draw to follow shortly to see which Victorian football powerhouse Manningham United might draw for the quarterfinals of this competition. From Han Solo, my name is Oliver Walker-Peel. It has been a pleasure to have your company. Take care, stay safe, and goodbye for now.